All right, so you know what the rules are, all right? Before you come to class, you should go to the Learn tab and you should attempt lesson 31 for today. Same thing for next week. Next week is lesson 32, right? So you should go to the Learn tab and attempt lesson 32 before coming for class. If you don't, you can still catch up, not to worry. But at least if you do it right, you'll know what Mr. Joel is talking about, and it's easier for you to catch up with the class. Okay, so what are we covering today? Today, we are covering grammar MCQ, vocabulary MCQ, and we are covering synthesis and transformation. This is the really important one because it's the one where most students will make mistakes. And then for vocabulary MCQ, we'll learn some new vocabulary, and for grammar, we'll test your understanding of the grammar rules. So like what I said before, everyone, please remember it is compulsory to turn on your video, right? If I find that your video is not turned on, or if you unmute your microphone to talk nonsense too much, right? Your parents will be getting a call from the customer service team. All right, so please turn on your video so that I can see that you guys are listening. Yeah, we have a responsibility to make sure that you learn the content properly. Okay. Use the chat function if you want to ask questions, answer a question, or you want to share some feedback. If there's anything urgent, raise your hand on Zoom, right? There's a raise hand function on Zoom. And then when I say you can unmute yourself, you can ask me, right? If you need to go to the toilet, don't need to raise your hand or unmute yourself or whatever. Just let me know using the chat function, and then you just come back ASAP. All right, just say, Mr. Joel, I'm going to the toilet, and you just go, okay? But just come back as soon as you can and be respectful to all students and teachers in the class. Okay, so like what I said, grammar MCQ, vocabulary MCQ, and synthesis and transformation. Let's begin with grammar MCQ. Okay, let's go. So question number 1 over here, what do you think the answer is? Please give me your answer in the chat group. It's quite direct, actually. Okay, so far Catherine is correct, James is correct, and so is Zoe. Very good. I see that Toby should be correct as well, but Toby is not here in the class. I'm not sure where he is. And I see that James has given me the correct answer online already as well. Thank you, James. Zoe, Zoe, you gave me the right answer here, but when you did the one online, right, you gave me something else. I wonder why. Okay, Siyu has given me the correct answer too. Good. So the ones that I'm a little bit more I want to hear from, right, is more of Siyu, Sanvi, as well as Nicole, because I don't have your answers for the questions yet. I have Toby, Zoe, James, Janav, and Catherine's answers. So what do you think the answer here should be, Nicole and Sanvi? Let's just give you a bit more time. Okay, Sanvi, absolutely right. Wonderful. And how about Nicole? Are you there, Nicole? Hello, Nicole, are you there? Oh, here comes Clarice. Yes, Nicole, you are correct. Okay. I think Nicole had some issue with pressing enter because she kept pressing C, 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 C. But you have to press enter for me to see it. Okay, so you are correct. All right. So everyone is correct. I don't think I need to explain too much regarding this. It's actually quite direct. Because the rest doesn't make sense. Okay. You can't say while Mr. Lim reached the mall, he called his wife, because it will both be in the same tense over here. It will both in the simple past tense. So while actually means at the same time. So two things are happening at the same time. So you could say something like while Siyu was dancing, comma, she was singing. or while Siyu danced, comma, she sang, right? But over here, it doesn't make sense that while Mr. Lim reached the mall, he called his wife, because when you reach the mall, right, it's like a moment in time kind of thing, right? It's not a process where you have to wait for some time. When you reach the mall, you reach the mall. It's like when you put your foot into the mall, that's when you reach the mall, right? So at that moment in time, it's very hard to do something at the same time. You just reach. So it's probably before or after Mr. Lim reached the mall. So it's the only one here that makes more sense. All right. Then actually means something happens and then something else happens. So it's basically two events happening one after another. Then we use then. Okay, I'll give you a an example. So let's say I'll use myself as an example. Okay, Mr. Joel. Mr. Joel dug a big booger out from his nose. Then he stuck it under his classroom table. Ah, bet you didn't know I used to do that. And then during Chinese New Year, right, my teacher discovered it because my irritating partner, right, my irritating partner beside me, he sabotaged me. During Chinese New Year, when we were doing spring cleaning, he raised his hand and then he said, Cha, look under Jianpo's table. My Chinese name is Jianpo. Look under Jianpo's table. My teacher flipped it out, right? He was like, oh my God, Jianpo, what's all the kind of gunky thing underneath the table? It's so disgusting. And in the end, I had to borrow a metal ruler from my friend to scrape off all the my nose dirt gunk on the bottom of my table. Okay, well, that was pretty disgusting, wasn't it? Ew. Now you know something about Mr. Joel that I never wanted you to know. Oh my God. Don't go and tell other people, okay? You tell your mom, Mr. Joel is so disgusting, unhygienic. They'll be like, oh my God, you shouldn't attend his class anymore. Such an unhygienic teacher. That was when I was young, okay, at your age. And now I don't do that anymore. Now, after I dig my nose, right, I wash my hands at the sink. Yeah, Nicole. You. All right, and then over here, same thing. All right, first actually is very similar to the two events happening one after another as well. But normally it's paired together with things like paired with then, or it could be paired with the word second. All right. First, Mr. Joel dug a big booger from his nose. Then he stuck it under the table. Or you can say, first, Mr. Joel dug a big booger from his nose. Second, he stuck it under the table. Ooh, I have a secret from Siyu. Oh my God, I shan't say it. Okay. Catherine has given me the answer for number 2. Welcome to the class, Kat. I can't really see you though. I can only see the top of your head. Okay. Hold your horses, Catherine. I gotta wait for the rest to give me the answers as well. Yeah. So James and Catherine, you don't need to give me the answers anymore. I have your answer online. Okay. I can see that you got it right. Don't worry. Zoe, though, Zoe, you need to give me the answer for this one because I think Zoe anyhow keyed in her answers online. Give me the answer for this one again. Siyu as well. All right, Clarice, very good. Clarice is correct now, by the way, your latest one to me. Nicole, send it to me once. It's enough. Don't spam so many times. But Nicole, you are correct. Siyu is correct as well. Okay, and of course, James, you are right. Catherine, you are right. I'm waiting for Sanvi's answer. And who else am I waiting? Yeah, just Sanvi. And once Sanvi is done, then I will do a bit of explanation. What do you think the best answer here is? And I think this question is very true. It's very like me as well. Yes, Sanvi, perfect. All right, you're correct. This question is very true because I really can't think clearly, right? When I'm hungry as well. Okay, when I'm hungry, I actually get quite irritated easily, and then I'll be like, oh, when am I going to get some food? And then my blood starts to boil, and then my heart starts to beat very fast. So I'm a mean person when I'm hungry. My wife knows that. So she always has biscuits handy. And I'm like that pet that she has, you know, the little dog, and it's like woof woof woof, and then I'm hungry. Then my wife will give me some biscuits. Now eat some biscuit. And I'll be like, oh, nice. And I'm not angry anymore. Okay, so I can't think clearly when meaning at the same time, right? It's very similar to while. While and when, you can use them interchangeably, right? Two things happening at the same time. Okay, so I can say Zoe loves to hug her soft toy when she reaches home, right? Or Sanvi loves to lie down on the couch and what? Oh well, Sanvi loves to lie down on the couch when her family is watching TV, right? So it's like at the same time, like two things happening at the same time. Okay, is that true, Sanvi? Yes, it's true. Is that true, Zoe? Do you like to hug soft toys? No. Okay, fine. And Zoe likes to punch her soft toys when she reaches home. She'll be like, oh, Pikachu, pum! Oh, Maichu, pum! Awesome. It's just giving you an example anyway. Okay. Although when we use although, right? Although means like the opposite happens. It's something opposite of what we expect happens. So although is kind of like the opposite condition actually. The opposite condition happens. So it's something that we don't expect. So let's say, for example, I say although Clarice is afraid to see blood, comma, she is a surgeon. Then you'll be like, huh? How can she become a surgeon if she's afraid to see blood? Because the surgeon is the doctor that opens people up, right? Surely there's a lot of blood squirting all over the place. It wouldn't do for Clarice to open the patient up, then suddenly she faint. And the patient is still over there squirting blood. So it's quite scary, right? Something like that. So although it's like an opposite condition. Or I can say, although Nicole is tall and strong, comma, she's afraid of tiny cockroaches, that kind of thing. Then it's like, oh my goodness, it's like the opposite. Like she's like a titan to the cockroach, she can just stomp on them and kill all of them, right? But whenever she sees cockroaches, she'll be like, oh my god, cockroach! Then she jumps on the table and does a dance, right? So that's like opposite condition expected. All right. Even means even is actually very close to the meaning of although, and we normally use it with even though, right? Even though something happens, something else happens. So even though Clarice is a surgeon, comma, she's afraid of blood, or even though Nicole is tall and strong, she's afraid of tiny cockroaches, right? So that's even though. So actually just means you know, as a consequence. Or so can also mean because of that, right? It can also be used to mean a degree, like when something is very strong. So here we can say Zoe was so angry at her brother, she slapped his head. Ha! Right? Or we can say Sanvi was so hungry, she ate all the food on the table without leaving any for her family, right? Something like that. So that's like the one for degree over here. She was so something. Oh, here comes Janav. All right, and then we can also have the so in a sense of the as a consequence or because of that kind of so. So over here for this one, we can say when Siyu reached the swimming pool, she realized that it was closed, so she decided to go home. Yeah, or James became a multi-billionaire, so he decided to retire early at the age of 8 years old. 8 years old, he goes around telling people, I'm retired, don't talk to me anymore. I'm going to spend the rest of my life on holiday, okay? I'm going to go to all the Disneylands in the world and I'm going to use their toilet. Yeah, so you're actually retired right now, James. 10 years old and